Hello everyone! Welcome back to another video. Sorry it's been a while, life has gotten kind of hectic. I was sick for a while and then I was doing renovations. You can see behind me on the stairs. So yeah, this is as soon as I could get to make another video. I have Evie the sugar glider running around down here. She might try and climb behind me sometime during the video. I'm in my tent, so yes, I'm doing another sugar glider video. And I was gonna have Rose, my second sugar glider, in here with me, but I just trimmed her claws, and so she's not that happy. So I just kind of left her be, so I brought Evie back with me. So last week, or last time, I guess, I talked about sugar gliders. Oh my goodness, I can't speak today. I talked about sugar gliders in general and just, where they were from and their descriptions and all of that. Today I just want to kind of briefly touch on having a sugar glider as a pet. So I didn't want to introduce them and say I had them and then not do a care video on them, because a lot of people tend to think that they are small, so they're easy to care for. They're like a hamster. And they end up getting them for their children or something like that. And then they find out that they're a lot more work than they figured on. There is a lot to taking care of a sugar glider. So I'm just gonna kind of brief on about 6 main subjects here today. Of course, if you're planning on getting a sugar glider, please go and do your research, because there's a lot more than even what I'm going to talk about here today of owning a sugar glider. But there's lots of groups on Facebook and stuff like that that you can join that would be happy to educate you even more than I do. But for this video, I'm going to be talking about their diets, their housing, things that they need in their cage, like pouches and stuff like that, tent time, and their nail trimming. So yes, you do have to trim their claws. They do get long claws, and those need trimming, or else they will start sticking to things in their cage, like their pouches and stuff. And fun fact, kind of a gory fact actually, if a sugar glider gets stuck and can't get free, like many other animals out there, they will chew off their toe or their foot to get free. So you don't want to have that happen. So the first thing I want to talk about is the big subject, which is, what do they eat? They eat a variety of things. You can get, oh hello, she came to visit me. You can get sugar glider pellets in the pet store. They kind of look like rabbit pellets, but not quite, and those are fine. They're fine for kind of like, it's not a staple diet. It's good for like a treat or for a subsidization, like during the daytime or something. I buy it, personally, I do buy it, and it's in their cage 24/7. So if they wake up during the middle of the day, so like I said in my last video, they're nocturnal, so they should be sleeping during the day, but sometimes they do wake up and they come and bounce around. So if they do, that is in their cage, and they can nibble on it if they want to. That being said though, they get fed every night, and it's fruit. That's what my sugar gliders get fed. Just fruits of all different kinds. I try and stay away from the acidic fruits. They don't get like a lot of strawberries and stuff like that. They love their blueberries. Oh my goodness, they go crazy for blueberries. They like mangoes, they like cantaloupe, honeydew, apples, not the seeds, just you gotta core them, but apples. I haven't tried them with any of the acidic stuff like oranges and stuff like that. Pineapple, they like pineapple. She's crawling around here on my legs, so yeah, so they like all different types of fruits. There are lists out there that you can get that tell you what they can and can't have, but a lot of people feed them another staple diet. I'm not sure what they're abbreviating for, and I haven't looked it up, but it's the BHML diet, or the TPG diet or something like that. And that does give them quite a bit of other things, so you don't have to feed them as much fruits. For me, personally, I'm like, they're not going to get that in the wild, so why am I going to feed it to them in captivity if I don't have to? What do they eat in the wild? They eat fruits and stuff like that off the trees. So, you know, in my mind, that kind of makes sense. But it's up to you. So yeah, that's what I feed them. I feed them lots of fruits, lots of different variation kind of fruits, and staple diets, the sugar glider food from the pet store, which has lots of vitamins in it and calcium in it and stuff like that, which they also need. So yeah, so that's what I feed them. She's inside the blanket somewhere. Spot the glider. There she is. Yeah, so that's her diet. My next topic is going to be housing them. So, like I said at the beginning of my video, a lot of people get them thinking they're small animals. They can keep them in a small cage, just like a hamster. Not true. Sugar gliders like to, as their name mentions, glide. They like to glide from place to place. They like to jump around. They're constantly on the move all night long. So they need a fairly large cage. I didn't personally look up the minimum dimensions. I did that when I got my cages, but yeah, no, they need a fairly large cage. So if you don't have the room, or you don't have $200 to $300 to fork out on a cage, don't get a sugar glider. They do need the room, and inside that cage they need lots of things. Like I said, they're very active creatures, and they like to play, they like to move around, so they need pouches to hide in. So this here is what we call a bonding pouch. This one is for going places. This is not a cage pouch. This is just for going places. It has a strap that I can wear it around my shoulder. It has a zipper closure so the sugar glider cannot get out. Inside I have a whole bunch of little fleece blankies that she can curl up with. So this is a bonding pouch. Now cage pouches are very similar to this. They don't have this mesh on them so they can get air because they don't have the zipper closure. They just have two hooks that you hang it on the side of the cage, and that's it. It's recommended 2 pouches per 1 sugar glider. So if you've got 2 sugar gliders, which you should have, I'll talk about that in a minute. If you have 2 sugar gliders, you need 4 pouches in your cage. So they need pouches to sleep in. That's where they sleep. They're marsupials, like I mentioned in my last one, so they're used to being enclosed in a pouch. They need toys. Foot toys, things that they can play with and toss around, little balls, those plastic chain links. There are like hundreds of different toys for sugar gliders that you can get out there. Like it's crazy. But yeah, they need toys, things that are not going to harm them. A lot of them are plastic, like hard plastic. But you still have to watch that because they will chew on them. And once they get a little bit ratty, it's best to throw them out and get something new. But yeah, just things that they can play with and bounce around with. They need a wheel. Just like a hamster. Yes, this is like a hamster. They need a wheel to run in. That's how they get their main exercise when they're in a closed space, is they run in their wheel. But they need specific wheels. You can't just go to any pet store and just buy a hamster wheel and put it in their cage. It's not gonna work because they have different toes than hamsters. And if you do not have the correct wheel, they can end up breaking their toes or their foot. So it's best to get a sugar glider approved wheel. There are several different makes out there, several different kinds of wheels that you can get. Again, I highly suggest Facebook groups are wonderful for this type of thing. People can help you out. There's lots of vendors on there that make things to sell and all that are completely sugar glider safe. So highly suggest that if you're going to get a sugar glider. And then of course tent time. So, some people just like sugar glider proof a room, like a bathroom or a bedroom or something like that, and they just go in there with their sugar gliders. There are the odd sugar gliders that will stay on your person. I don't have that. They scatter. They don't want to stay with me. So, to be safe, if you get a tent, this is just a pop-up mosquito tent that you can take camping with you. It folds down into this little circle and goes in a bag, so it doesn't take up any room when I'm not using it. Super simple to put up, super simple to take down. The mesh, I've never had a problem with their claws ripping the mesh or anything. I've had this tent for, oh my goodness, probably about 6 years now, and I've never had an issue. It's big enough for 2 adults to sit in here comfortably with sugar gliders bouncing around you. They like to climb. She's not climbing right now because 2 things. Number one, it's daytime when I'm filming this, so technically she should be sleeping, so she's a little groggy, which is good for a video. And second thing is I have all the lights on, so she doesn't like it that bright. But if I turn the lights off, then it messes with the video, so yeah. So she's hiding. But yeah, tent time. Tent time, I come in here with my gliders at least minimum once a week. I try and do it twice a week if my schedule allows me to. Just to give them a bigger area. Like, this is bigger than their cage. So it just gives them a bigger area to bounce around and climb and do all that. I have a whole bunch of toys that I bring in here for them. A wheel I bring in here. A ball pit I have that they can climb into. I think I showed that in my last video. I think. If not, hit me up and I'll send you a picture of it because I'm sure I showed it in the last video. I've got blankets for them to climb in. Stuff like that. So, and this is the time where they get lots of treats as well. So they enjoy this time because they know they're going to get treats. Now, the treats I feed them are these. I get them from a lady that makes a whole bunch of sugar glider stuff. Toys and shirts and bonding pouches, cage pouches, just everything. She makes these as well. They're little, I don't know if you can see that, but they're little yogurt drops. And sugar gliders absolutely love them. I'm going to try and get her out here and have her eat her little yogi so you can see because it's so cute. Come here, baby. Come here, baby. Oh, yes, I know. Hey. Yeah, she's not even. Hey, look, 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 look. Nope. She's like, I'm not. Hey, look, come. Ooh. They do always land on their feet. Come here, you. Come here, you. Here. Here. There. Oh. She's just trying to jump and hide. But yeah, she got the treat anyway. They don't always work with you. But yeah. There, that works. Now she's eating her little yogurt drop. There we go. They're so cute. Yeah, they love their treats. So in here I give them lots of treats and they're happy. The last thing I want to talk about is their care. So you don't bathe sugar gliders, they bathe themselves. The only thing that you really have to do for their personal maintenance is trim their claws. So you can get wheels that have like a sandpaperish type track in it that when they run, they like file down their nails, which is good. It does like prolong the time in between having to trim their nails, but you're still gonna have to trim them. In the wild, the tree barks and stuff like that would be the thing that break down the nails, but we don't have that kind of stuff here, so we have to do it for them. So some sugar gliders will just you know, sit on your knee, give them a yogurt treat or whatever, and they'll just allow you to just snick away. Evie is one of them. I usually just put her on my knee and she's good to go. A Rose, on the other hand, the one that I just did today, not so. She doesn't like getting her nails trimmed. She doesn't like sitting still. So I have two methods that I use with Rose to trim her nails. The usual go-to method is just to simply take a blanket, wrap her in the blanket so she can't bite me, and just take one foot out at a time and just trim her nails. She doesn't like it. I don't like it, but it's got to be done. The other way that you can do it, which sometimes works for Rose, and sometimes I have to use it for Evie if she's in a bad mood that day, is a nail trimming pouch. So this is a nail trimming pouch. It is completely made of mesh, if you can see that. And it has a zipper on the top, so you can put them in here, zipper it closed so they can't get out. And then their nails stick through the mesh, and as their nails are through the mesh, you can just go along and snip off the nails. So I just use a pair of nail clippers when I trim my glider's claws, just normal pair of nail clippers. Some people get different, like they're like little curved ones. They're actually used for animals, like small animals, so you can get those too. They're pretty expensive. I just found these ones work just as fine. I never try and come at the claws, like, so this is the claw. I never come at them this way. I always come at them sideways, so you don't pinch the claw. So doing that method, these nail clippers work just fine. Yeah. Other than that, like I said, this is just briefing on the things of owning a sugar glider. There's like tons more stuff that you can know. But you know, most people are just interested in them, so you don't need to know that stuff unless you're gonna own them. So, you know, if you're gonna own them, like I said, Facebook groups are wonderful. I'm part of like 2 of them, so that's where I got all my information from. Other than that, oh, I was going to mention 2 sugar gliders. So, as I mentioned in my other video, sugar gliders are colony animals, meaning that they live in groups of 2 or more. They can actually live up to 50 gliders in one colony in the wild. They don't do well on their own. You might get the odd sugar glider that is okay on their own, but they're so much happier if they have 2 or more. They will, if you just have one, they will show signs of stress or depression. So they'll start over grooming themselves, taking off their fur. They could start biting themselves. They could start not eating, like just like literally going into a depression, not coming out to play or anything like that. They just sleep all the time. And eventually they will pass away. So it's good to have 2 sugar gliders or more. If you want to try just one on their own, that's fine. But be prepared to get a second one just in case, because 9 times out of 10, you're gonna need 2. In my case, I have 2 sugar gliders, but they're in separate cages. This one that I have with me today, the white one, Evie, she would love to have a cage mate. Absolutely love to have a cage mate. Rose, on the other hand, is just a very grumpy glider. She doesn't like anybody. I can handle her and stuff, but she's just rather just leave me alone. And she just fights. She just fights all the time. So I can't put them together because she's just gonna kill Evie because she just fights all the time. So they're in separate cages, but their cages are side by side, so they can still see each other, they can still talk to each other, they can still smell each other, they just can't get to each other, and that seems to be working fine. They're completely healthy and everything. Evie here does a little bit of over grooming on the top of her head, but nothing serious. So It's nothing I'm going to worry about for now. I could try and get another sugar glider to put in with Evie, but I really don't want 3. So as long as it's working, I'm just going to leave it alone. But yeah, 2 or more is what you need. I have one thing I have found that I come across quite a bit with new sugar glider owners or just people that are interested in them is like, how often do you have to clean their cages and clean their pouches and all of that. A lot of people tend to over clean, and why I say over clean is because sugar gliders are scent based animals, so they like their own scent or their colony's scent around them. And if they don't have that, they will create scent. So they'll put more scent and more and more and more, as much as they need to have their own scent around them. So if you're constantly cleaning the cage and constantly cleaning their pouches, you're going to have a big odor. And it's not a pretty odor. I can guarantee that. But the less you clean with these ones, the better. So in their drop trays, in their cages, I clean those out. Like, I just line it with newspaper, and I'll clean those out about every 2 weeks. Their pouches, on the other hand, I might throw them in the wash once every 2 months. It's just kind of like when I can smell the pouch and go, ugh, that's kind of disgusting, I'll throw it in the wash. And I have absolutely no problem with odors at all from them. It's kind of nice, actually. I do have 2 females though, which does help. Males will put off a little bit more scent, especially if they're not neutered. Yes, you can neuter sugar gliders. But yeah, so it's nice to just have them around if you don't mind the work of owning them, having to cut up fruit and having to clean their pouches and dealing with, a few bites. They do nibble. They're called love bites, actually, especially with her. Rose doesn't give me love bites, she just bites. But these are love bites. They like to, like, nibble at you, and they do have very sharp teeth. No, don't. They will actually try and groom you as... Stop that! They will try and groom you as well once they really get to know you, because that's just like their... Yeah, you just want to hide. That's like their... way of telling you that they love you, is just to, like, groom you like you're part of the pack type thing. But it hurts. They have sharp claws, so yeah, it hurts. But you can't do anything about it because it's just their way of showing that they love you. So it's like, okay, just put up with this, I guess. Yeah, but that's my sugar gliders. So if you guys have any questions that I haven't covered or anything, comment down below, let me know. I'll try and answer them either just by replying to you or making a new video if I get enough questions on them. But that's my sugar gliders. So Sugar Glider 101 is over. Next video that I'm going to be posting, I think I'm going to be going into the slithery snakes. So if you don't like snakes, well, I'm sorry, this isn't going to be the video for you. But if you're curious or you like snakes, stay tuned because a snake video is going to be coming your way. I think the snakes are going to be split into 3 videos. I think I'm going to do like a general one, I'm going to do a care video, and then I might even do a feeding video, so you'll be able to watch them eat. Which, again, for some people can be kind of gross, so I will put a warning on that video, so if anybody does not want to watch it, they don't have to watch it. But yeah, so hopefully I'll get that out in the next 2-ish weeks here, and we'll continue with the rest of my animals. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like and subscribe down below, and stay tuned for more. Thanks, guys!